All right, today we are diving deep into a really powerful story from the ancient Indian epic, the Mahabharata. It's an incredible tale about a king, a sage, a furious son, and a serpent king, and they are all set on this dramatic collision course because of one single thoughtless act.
It really makes you wonder, right? Can we ever truly escape the consequences of our actions? Especially when those actions unleash forces that are way, way bigger than ourselves. So let's get into it and see how this whole thing kicked off. Our story begins with just a moment of disrespect. You know, an act that seems pretty minor at first, but as you'll see, it's going to spiral into a matter of life and death. So picture this. We have King Parikshit, a very powerful ruler, who comes across the sage Samika. Now, Samika is deep in meditation and he's taken a vow of silence. So when the king's questions are met with, well, silence, he gets angry. He lashes out and drapes a dead snake over the meditating sage. But here's the twist. Samika himself, he forgives the king. The insult is met with total peace, but that peace, it is not gonna last.
Because yeah, the story doesn't stop there. Forgiveness from the father was one thing, but it was nowhere near enough to stop the absolute fury of the son.
And this is where the consequences really start to roll in. The son's rage introduces a deadly new element into our story, a curse. And here he is, Sringin, the sage's son. He's young, he's powerful, and he is absolutely furious. For him, this isn't just some small insult, it's a massive violation. And his words here, they show this dangerous conviction. He truly believes his own anger has the force of universal law, that his curse is now an unchangeable fact of the world.
And the contrast here is just incredible. While Sringin is insisting his curse is unbreakable, his father is pleading with him to kill this dreadful anger instead. It's a perfect clash, right? Youthful fury versus this calm, tempered wisdom. One wants vengeance, the other sees that the real poison here is the anger itself. So what exactly is this terrible curse? Well, it is incredibly specific and deadly. King Parikshit is sentenced to die. The agent of his death is going to be Takshaka, the king of the serpents, the Nagas, and the execution is set for within 7 days.
Just 7 days. That number just hangs over everything that happens next. It's this unchangeable, terrifying deadline. The clock is officially ticking for King Parikshit.
But Samika, the father, makes a really surprising move. He can't undo his son's powerful curse, but he refuses to just stand by and let this injustice happen. In an act of incredible mercy, he sends a messenger to warn the king of the fate that is now hurtling towards him.
So now the king knows what's coming. The question is, can a mortal man, even a really powerful king, build a fortress strong enough to keep fate out?
You know, when the king gets the warning, he's a changed man. All that arrogance just vanishes, and it's replaced by pure regret. What's fascinating is what he regrets. It's not so much his own impending death, but the shameful act he committed. And the sage's kindness in warning him, well, that only makes his remorse even deeper.
But feeling bad doesn't mean he's just giving up. Oh no. The king launches an all-out effort to cheat death. He builds this supposedly unbreachable fortress on a single pillar, and he fills it with guards, doctors, mystical experts, the whole shebang. He's literally trying to build a wall strong enough to keep fate itself out.
But fate, it has other plans. As that 7th day dawns, 2 incredibly powerful beings are now making their way toward the king. This is it. The stage is set for a final, epic confrontation.
Heading towards the king are 2 completely opposing forces. On one side, you've got Kashyapa, a master healer whose mantras can supposedly neutralize any poison. He's coming to save the king, and yeah, he's hoping for a nice reward. But on that same road is Takshaka, the Serpent King, disguised and absolutely determined to fulfill the prophecy. The cure and the curse are about to meet face to face. When they meet, Takshaka drops his disguise and issues this chilling challenge. He declares his venom is absolute, an unstoppable force of nature. He basically looks at the world's greatest healer and says, "Your power ends where mine begins."
But Kashyapa is just as confident in his own power. He fires right back that his knowledge is supreme, that his mantras can conquer any poison, even Takshaka's. He is the immovable object.
And this is where we're left, with this ultimate question. Can human ingenuity, a fortress, a master healer, can it really defeat a perfect prophecy?
Or is the power of a curse, something unleashed by pure anger, absolutely irreversible? When a perfect cure meets an absolute poison, who wins?